Easiest way to screw up BLM graffiti. Black olives matter. Well, it was already graffiti, so they just thought they'd fix it. It's Sunday, I'm Akorn. Welcome back to Laugh While the World Burns, bringing you your weekly dose of Idiocracy memes and news. For those who's missed it, the latest episode of the Gen X and Millennial meme series just dropped yesterday on my other channel, AkornTV Live. This and all other links can be found down below in the video description. Speaking of the Gen X series, I usually start off that show with a pop quiz. And today, I thought I'd start off this show with a pop quiz. Without using Google, which U.S. president signed legislation making the bald eagle the official U.S. national bird? If you think you know, without cheating, drop it down in the comments and stay tuned because I'll have the answer later on in the show. Professor, if you read to your kids, you're unfairly disadvantaging others. Yes, guys, that's right. If you read bedtime stories to your kids, then you're racist. Or at least that's what they're pushing today. The View, with less testosterone. Yeah, I would say this is very likely a fact check true. Never sneeze when the cat is using the litter tray. Yeah, I would guess that would be a bad time to startle them. Even a long time ago, in a galaxy far, far away, the most evil person in the universe was a career politician. My dog just got a haircut, and now he looks like he gave up drinking and got his life together. I would have to agree that does appear to be a very accurate description. What do you miss most from the 80s? No cell phones, no internet, but mostly people weren't offended by everything. No political correctness. Yes, I agree to all of the above. Scottish boy goes viral for refusing to bow during scout trip to Islamic mosque. Right here is just another reason why, if your kids or grandkids are still in public schools, you need to be warning them about these things before it's shoved in their face. Because they won't know how to respond except to do whatever the teachers say or whatever the other kids are doing, because they think it's what's expected from them. Because this is not just limited to the UK or Europe. It's happening right here in the US also. They're pushing Islam into all the schools in many places all across the country already.
Please do not confuse your half-assed research on the internet forums with my graduate degree in political science.
Graduate degree in political science? Well, I'll have a venti latte then, please. Yep, exactly. Because we all know that is the majority of places where these kind of people end up with these so-called college degrees. Ford. We were proudly founded by Henry Ford. Toyota. Our founder was the visionary Kichiri Toyota. Volkswagen. What have I been telling you guys for some time now on past shows? Here's yet another step. Minnesota is one step away from banning classic cars. You guys can pause the video if you want to read this, but basically, you will no longer be allowed to drive a classic car as a daily driver or etc. You will be limited to using it for short pleasure drives on the weekend, or in relation to a car show or similar type events. Here's the thing, guys. When we all hear the term classic car, we all think of things like the car shown here, right? But technically, a classic car is any vehicle that is 25 years or older. So in other words, a 2001 model year vehicle is technically a classic car. I think, in my opinion, that this will end up being used as another avenue to remove many cars off the road. At least the ones that don't get their engines ruined by the high ethanol content that the government started putting in the fuel supply, which started on May the 1st, as I've mentioned in past shows. The winner of the 2026 Wheelie Contest. How in the world do you possibly get a motorcycle stuck on a red light pole that high up in the air? Did he use a flatbed tow truck as a ramp? Because that's the only guess I've got. Me at work trying to keep my opinions to myself because I have bills to pay. Yep, sometimes you just gotta grit your teeth and get through the day. No matter how I read this sign, I still have questions. Yeah, I've read this multiple times now, and there must be a sign that's missing. That's the only thing that would make sense. It should say house or home somewhere in this sentence, but somebody obviously screwed up. Liberals when we make first contact with aliens. Well, they would definitely be among the group to believe it. Unfortunately, due to Project Bluebeam, AI, and other projects, I'm afraid that most of the world will believe it too. Me looking for all this freedom everyone's talking about when I can't do anything that's not taxed, regulated, or straight up illegal. Yep, this is 1000% fact check true, and it's only getting worse every single day. Maryland citizen slapped with $2 billion power grid upgrade bill for out-of-state AI data centers. State complains to federal energy regulators, says additional cost breaks ratepayer protection pledge promises. Aren't AI hyperscalers supposed to pay for these upgrades? No, and they never will. It's always been us peons who are the ones who pay. Just like all these towns where the people have went to town halls and other events to fight the data centers from moving in. But city officials just ignore them, change all the zoning, and cut all the red tape for these data centers with their 100 decibel or higher of noise from the cooling systems, all the water runoff and the groundwater depletion, and the high power usage. The same kind of red tape that people in the cities have to struggle to get through just to assemble a shed from Temu in their backyard. Good luck unseeing this. Mr. Potato Head is considerably smarter, though. Yeah, I would have to agree. He's smarter than any politician. Burger King workers will be forced to wear AI headsets that track if they're saying please and thank you to customers. Yeah, sounds more like to me that they are training the AI to take customers' orders and just eliminate the employees. A wild jaguar in Brazil curls up inside a cardboard box, proving that no matter how big a cat is, the love for boxes is universal. Yeah, I've said this for a long time. I even saw a zoo once who put these huge cardboard boxes in the lion enclosure, and even the lions would get in them and play or curl up and go to sleep. EU country punishing the elderly with crazy meat restriction of just 2.8 ounces per week because they screwed up the climate. I know it says per day, but it's actually per week. An eco-warrior politician has sparked outrage in Denmark after she defended guidelines limiting residents of government-run nursing homes to just 2.8 ounces of beef a week, which is less than one Big Mac. Birgit Keeler-Hoist of the left-wing Green Danish Party, the alternative, was also accused of saying old people in nursing homes should be punished by restricting their meat intake in comments made in a meeting of Copenhagen City Council on April 30th. She was speaking against plans to exclude nursing home residents from guidelines in the Danish capital that restrict meals at government-run sites to just 2.8 ounces of beef, lamb, or veal per week. There's two main points here. Well, 3 technically, because they don't want anyone eating meat, especially beef. But the article is mostly focusing on this topic in connection with people in nursing homes, right? However, the biggest point that should be made is the fact that the Danish government apparently already has a restriction of 2.8 ounces of meat at all government-run sites, because it states this in the last line here at the bottom, and is why she was against excluding nursing homes from this requirement. So the government actually already has this law in place. And we're only going to see more and more of this as all the Western governments continue the war on beef, which is just yet another war against the people. Today's pop quiz question was, without using Google, which U.S. president signed legislation making the bald eagle the official U.S. national bird? And for all of you who didn't look it up, I would say that this answer is not going to be what you expect. The bald eagle officially became the national bird of the United States on December 24th, 2024, when President Joe Biden signed legislation bestowing the honor. You can go on to read some of the other history, and it'll tell you now of when it first started being used and other things. But guys, I'd say most of us remember being taught when we were in elementary school that the bald eagle was the official U.S. national bird. I mean, why wouldn't it have already been made the official national bird? When all 50 states each have their own official state bird. Every single state does, but yet the United States as a country didn't? How is it that the bald eagle was only made the official U.S. national bird just 2 years ago, and done so by Joe Biden of all people? I want to hear your all's thoughts about this. What's your opinions, and what do you guys remember? As a content creator here on YouTube, I get a good number of emails from random companies. This is one email that I received last week. Hi AI Futurist. OpenAI is turning ChatGPT into a personal finance tool that connects directly to your bank accounts, letting users track spending, analyze habits, and ask natural language questions about their money. This marks a shift from chatbot to financial infrastructure interface. Is this the future of personal finances? You know, I've made statements on a number of past shows now about how the up-and-coming digital ID, along with AI, will be used to control everything about your identity, including your bank account. Well, here's just another example showing that it's not coming, but rather, it's all in progress. ChatGPT and other AI chatbots approved for official use in the U.S. Senate, New York Times reports. Aides could use Google's Gemini Chat, OpenAI's ChatGPT, or Microsoft Copilot, all of which are already integrated into Senate platforms, the report added. Yeah, and we thought our rights were being stripped away before. Wait until they have AI writing all the laws, if they aren't already doing so. This is a pop-up warning that appears on my Twitch channel before you join the live stream, and I just thought it was kind of funny about how it's worded. AkornTV's content is intended for certain audiences. It may contain politics and sensitive social issues, drugs, intoxication, or excessive tobacco use. This content may not be appropriate for you to watch. So basically, they're saying that politics and social issues are worse than drugs, intoxication, and even excessive tobacco use, whatever that's supposed to mean. Now, just to clarify, I did select the boxes in the settings on my Twitch channel so this warning would appear. Because number one, I don't want to have any issues with Twitch. If we start talking about some of the topics that's here on this video series, or anything deeper than that, and also because I have been smoking cannabis during the live streams lately. So I just wanted to put that warning up there for all those who might become offended by it. Speaking of the live stream, the next AkornTV live stream Hangout and Smoke session will be tonight, May 31st at 7 p.m. Central, 8 p.m. Eastern Time. I'm usually on for about 2 hours, so everyone's welcome to drop by and say hi. It's just an informal setting. I'm on camera, and I'll be reading and answering your guys' comments and things in the chat. And the past couple of weeks, I've tried to add a few things to the stream as well, but it's mostly just people hanging out around the virtual campfire. If you're interested in joining the live stream tonight, my Twitch channel link is down below in the video description, or you can just search Twitch for AkornTV, and you'll find it that way as well. When that first hantavirus vaccine hits. Woman terrified of white men leaves Africa for Minnesota. It might be the Babylon Bee, but it doesn't make it wrong. Should schools teach cursive writing like they used to back in the day? Well, first, they need to teach them how to read, write, and do basic math. Because many kids today, especially those of Gen Alpha, can't even do that much because they haven't been taught anything in these schools. So they have to pass those things first, then they can start working on their autographs. Breaking. On the Steam Machine promotional page, they use these two people to promote the game console. What am I looking at, bro? I just like this person's response. They're playing a violent horror game called They/Them. I just thought that was funny. Tim Waltz ditches Memorial Day honors to celebrate George Floyd. As if any of the people that's on the left doing this would be any surprise. Wrap your head around this. The Democrats are mad ICE is using Medicaid data to arrest illegals after they told us illegals aren't on Medicaid. Yeah, that sounds about right. White House announces Iran deal completely done, except for all the important parts. Yeah, how many times has Trump said the deal was done or something of that nature now? I know it's been a bunch. Imagine how little we'd actually have to be taxed if it all wasn't going to fraud. Yep, fact check true. Replace EBT and SNAP with MREs, and watch how fast everyone gets jobs. I agree with this. I mean, each one is a whole meal. Coffee and other drinks are included. It's got its own heating pack and everything, so it doesn't even require electricity. All you need to add to an MRE is water. So in all honesty, this right here is a great solution. She is awful lucky with her stock options, right guys? The inflation has now reached my butt. There's all kinds of shrinkflation, guys, and many times we don't even notice it. When did love your country, secure your border, lower your taxes, protect your children, and put America first become extremism? Ever since the globalists wanted to erase all borders for a one-world government and erase all the Western nations? Just realized English doesn't have a word for smells nice. Like you have stink or reeks for smells bad, but nothing for a good smell. It tells you something about Old England. They never needed such a word. I know I got a good number of viewers over in the UK, so is this true? Let me know down in the comments. This is different. LGBT. Lettuce, guacamole, bacon, and tomato sandwich. I'm not even gonna make a comment on this one. The prophecy has been fulfilled. Yeah, that's one that you don't want to see. And if you notice, the premium one doesn't have a price at all. I wonder if it's because they don't actually have premium anymore. because of the EPA putting all the 15% ethanol in all of the gasoline now. I heard New York City voted themselves into trouble. They need a new kind of hero. May I offer my special services? If you know who this guy is, yeah, don't do that. We don't need those kinds of services. We got enough problems already. What is stopping you from getting nails like this? I don't have to swoop down and grab fish from a river for food. You know, in my opinion, this kind of goes along with fingernails like this too. Tell me that you don't actually work without telling me that you don't work. Because how could you even wear shoes with nails like this? It's like women who have long nails like that and they drop their credit card or something and they can't even pick it up. Bro is fully charged. Yeah, his battery's got 6 bars. My phone only has 3. This is the perfect way to describe gas prices. Oh, I'm afraid we haven't seen anything yet. I hope that I'm wrong, though. In my opinion, I'm looking for it to get a lot worse during late summer and into the fall, let alone as we go into winter. Researchers identify people through ordinary Wi-Fi routers with 99.5% accuracy. Technique works with standard Wi-Fi routers. Yeah, I've mentioned this on past shows. It's been a while now. I had one back some time ago about how police could use your own Wi-Fi devices to be able to map your entire house and tell them exactly where every person and animal is before they even come through your front door. Me watching him through the necklace I got him for his birthday. Guys, if any woman does this, as soon as you find out about it, leave her immediately. Men are not dogs on a leash, and women that do things like this often use these type devices to make sure that they know exactly where you are and when you're heading home for their own purposes. Anytime I hear the mainstream media talk about experts, this is how I imagine them looking. Yeah, exactly. Although, this is still giving many of them too much credit. I was told by a 22-year-old today that there was no way people were writing 10-page papers without AI. Buddy, I was writing 10-page papers without having read the book. Yeah, exactly. They think a 10-page paper is something. How about a 30-page essay where you're writing it by hand? And you have a rough draft and then a final draft. My finger when I use cheap toilet paper. They're not wrong. How to eat buffalo cauliflower wings. Yep, exactly. I completely agree with this. That one molecule of serotonin trying to keep me going throughout the day. Yeah, that's sure what it feels like most days, I guess. Yes, I support passing a law that makes it against the law to report things that are against the law. Yeah, that sounds about right. Superman saves the day again. What the... I took his screenshot on a site that I was on, and I thought that I captured one of the comments too, but I can't find it now. But there was somebody that said something to the effect of, they suspected that it was Wonder Woman's invisible plane. If you liked this video, then you'll love the one that'll pop up here. Also, check out the new merch designs now available in the merch store. All links down below in the video description. Don't forget to like and subscribe, and come back for more. I'll see you guys tonight on the live stream. Until then, you guys take care and stay safe this week. This is Akorn, over and out.